Hello, and welcome to the Libri Labra book club discussion. Last month, what was last month? We're in June, May. So for the month of May, we ended up reading Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. If you've read it, please stick around. Just be aware that there is going to be a lot of spoilers because we're going to be talking about it in depth.
That's if you haven't read it.
Right, just be aware that there's going to be a lot of spoilers.
Wait a minute.
There's going to be lots of spoilers. I think we usually just kind of start with allowing the person who suggested it to maybe talk about why they wanted to read it.
Well, as you know, I usually pick books, I pick books as a theme. This time I just okay, let's see some good books from Goodreads. And those were the three. I forget what the other two were, and this was the one that came out on top. So, no, I heard good things about it. And a friend of mine who's into books had just read it, and she liked it. So it's okay, I hope this one wins. And that's what the impetus was.
It had actually been on my radar for a while because I occasionally look at bestsellers and see what's still there weeks later, and I went to Barnes & Noble to pick it up a few times, and it was always at full price. And I was like, wow, it's been a while. I'm surprised.
That tells you something right there.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, $27 for this book. Not what I'm used to paying for my books.
I pay $2 for my Kindle books down. No,
and then I tried to get it from the library, and there was hundreds of people ahead of me on the waiting list. And I was like, all right. So I did just find out that they're going to be making a show out of it.
A movie or a show?
A show on Hulu.
TV show. Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's going to be Reese Witherspoon's company.
Okay.
I believe the company is Hello.
When you said Reese Witherspoon, I was who would she play?
Mom? She actually is going to be in the show. So,
okay.
I mean, maybe she could okay.
Well, I'm saying whether or not it'd be mom, it might be one of the other moms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, if this is kind of what is we're looking at the Stepford Wives community type.
Kind of.
I don't know. It's a little uptight. It's a little. I could see her playing one of those roles. Not saying she's uptight. I'm just saying I can see her playing one of those.
Not the community. It is
right. Part
of the story.
So, what were your initial thoughts?
Going into it, I was like, I didn't know.
Did you even read the synopsis?
When I go to vote, yes.
Okay.
I would read each, and I would okay, this one sounds cool. And then that's as far as it goes, and then I forget about it.
Right.
And then when we get into it and start reading it, and then I honestly, usually I don't even remember reading the synopsis. So I'd much rather go into the books blind anyway, without any expectations, without any, because I don't want to be disappointed in any way, shape, or form. I'd rather be pleasantly surprised.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the end of this, I was like, I didn't know how I felt about it, but after thinking about it within the last hour, to be honest, within the last maybe even half hour, I kind of feel a little bit better about it.
I think it was very different than what I was expecting. But I too did the same thing. I kind of didn't read the synopsis, and I was just I know this is a really popular book, and everybody's reading it right now.
I'm certain I read the synopsis. I just didn't hold on to it.
I feel like there was a lot going on, and normally there's primary characters and then kind of side characters, but I felt like she made them all primary characters. That's kind of what it felt like to me.
After you said that earlier, I agreed, but now it's because there was a ramp up for a lot of it. So
it just it
what were you
felt...
gonna say, Tom?
No, I was gonna say. So you would say it's more of an ensemble cast than a few stars.
Yes.
Yeah, it felt like all the characters kind of went through something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it really plays into the title, to be honest. The whole thing, it ended up. It's a little fire started here, and then a little fire started here, and then a little fire started here, and then by the end of it, you're like, oh crap, they're all everywhere.
Does anybody have any marshmallows? Oh wait.
I mean, and I guess that's kind of what it felt like reading it. That there was just something going on with everybody, and it was
I think that was the maybe it wasn't the point going into it, but that's the reason why it was named the way it was. I feel.
Except for like I don't like with
Huh?
Wait a minute.
Izzy, I don't feel like I think they tried to make her character like super powerful, but I don't feel like I got as much out of Izzy.
Her character,
As everybody else. Like Izzy was kind of like the beginning and the end, but it didn't feel like
it was really centered on her well enough.
Right.
Okay.
Even though she did she was important. She was definitely important in the.
Well, again, that goes with an ensemble cast. There's no one character that stands out here, I think, and that's one of the strengths of the novel. Like, who is the novel about? Let's say.
I would actually say it would be Izzy, but it's more or less of her, like, perception of everything going on around her versus it actually being about her and her story. Because it is more about because she sees things that other people don't, obviously.
That's it. Yeah. Sit well.
I'm waiting for it.
She's digesting, yeah.
She was even like,
if this is real time post, just so you know.
Spit it out.
I don't think I know how to feel right now.
Oh, that's fine.
Because there's just, it was just so many shades of gray, I guess. And I don't think, like, reading the book, you think maybe you know what side you'd be on and what feels right, but then not really. I think the situation with Mei Ling.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Maribel. Why did I just say Mei Ling?
Because it's her.
That was her given
name.
Okay, all right. So that whole thing with the adoption, I feel was thought-provoking. Because, here's a couple that can provide for her better than her mother might be able to, but then, there's obviously a sacrifice there with her then not being able to experience her own culture and, not knowing her real mother and just, what is the right answer there? I don't...
Well,
there is none.
Whether or not it had to be about culture, but I think it was a direct correlation to Mia and her situation. Because she did that to Pearl. Pearl was supposed to grow up with the rich family, and she took her with her instead. And then that was, I guess, a mirror aspect, to that.
Okay.
No.
But it was like, do you think that was her trying to make it? No, because how does that even make sense?
No, it wasn't about the story behind it. It was about putting her situation into a perspective.
Right.
But in Mia's defense, this woman, and her kid's out there. You know where she is. Would you tell her?
Right.
I mean, I think I would tell her.
Right, irrespective of Mia's situation. I think that's a separate thing.
But the one thing that I feel like wasn't clear to me, at least. I mean, it's possible I may have just missed it. I feel like I missed the part where she decided she wanted to keep the baby. Like, I mean, I know when she did it, but I didn't feel like there was a lot of talk about why.
I really don't think it had to do with like her internal thoughts on that entire matter. I think it was just her brother dying just completely upended her life, so she just took off with the baby. Like, it really wasn't about that. Maybe she didn't spend too much time thinking about it until after the fact.
Even though they didn't specifically say so, her parents essentially threw her out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we prefer you not to come to the funeral.
I mean, that was terrible.
That was harsh.
So,
like, I don't, and then all of that just based on like judgments.
Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the through lines of the book, because there's a lot of characters making judgments. They've never been in that situation before, so how the hell would you know?
Right.
You know? Case in point, Lexi. Oh, well, you just don't get pregnant. Oh, well, oops.
Right. I think the most surprising kind of character to just turn around, I feel like, was Moody's reaction when Izzy had approached him and was like, "You told Mom about Trip," and like he
was upset. That was his best friend. And
yeah, but at that moment he was not acting
She wanted to be
very
more
well.
than best friends. Yeah,
right.
That was the issue.
And I understood that, but like, I don't know, that's a huge like 180. I think to just want to have a relationship with somebody and then just be like, whatever, she gets what she deserves, and just
he was mad. He was upset. He was hurt.
Yeah, in the moment.
Human nature it is to freaking lash back out at whatever hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. For whatever reason, that part bothered me.
Because his thing was like, well, it was along the lines of, oh, well, I found her, she should be mine,
Well,
no.
Even Izzy was like, that was completely out of character for him.
Right.
I do like how they wrote the end of that scene, though. How she wrote the end of that scene. That basically by the time he was shook off what she did, that she was gone. I mean, that's kind of rage-inducing.
I mean, then kind of when you think about it, then like Izzy was almost like the one that didn't change. Because she was like true to herself and true to her beliefs from day one till the end. Like, she was consistent with her perception of like right and wrong and good and bad and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, I would say that, but she learned a little bit more. She learned like from everything in between. It wasn't just a reaction to something else, but she did kind of react.
I don't know. I think that in Izzy's case, at least, well, the way I looked at the book, to back up a second, yeah, the Richardsons and the Warrens, like they're essentially two tribes. One's governed by reason, the other one's governed by emotion. And Izzy is in the emotional camp, but she's stuck with the reasoners.
Right.
Now she finds Mia, who's on her wavelength, and that allows her to blossom and, come into her own as a character and as a person.
I really wish that the author had spent more time explaining. I mean, they explained the relationship between Mom and Izzy pretty well, but they didn't explain like more or less the reason why she was the way she was towards her. Like at the end,
they did.
At the end, it gave us like one or like a couple sentences to explain it, but that was it. It was just, hey, look back. Remember that when we explained all this back here?
Well, yeah, but you can't. But by the same token, if she starts repeating it throughout the novel, it's like, yeah, I know, I get it. Move on.
All right.
Which do you want? Because remember, Izzy was, if I recall, the premature baby, and she was always in danger of death. So her mom's very like, oh, I got to make sure she's all right, make sure she's all right, and that's what kind of engendered that. So
kind of created the exact opposite reaction.
Hmm?
So I had originally thought that that Shaker Heights was kind of like a made-up place.
Oh no, it's a real place.
Yeah, it's a real place, and the author
where the author lives.
Yeah, the author grew up there, and
you write what you know.
Yeah, I watched an interview, and I remember she was talking about like why she made things happen in the 90s. I think it was because she was saying something because it was like before social media and where people could keep secrets a little bit better than they can now.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I had an issue keeping track of Mia and Pearl throughout the whole book just because like I could not get it in my head that the mom was Mia and Pearl was the daughter. And it's probably just because of the Vampire Diaries.
Okay.
There's an older woman named Pearl in the Vampire Diaries, and it just...
Did you keep thinking about her every time she was mentioned? So
I
it screwed you up?
I don't know. It just... Because Pearl and Anna on the Vampire Diaries were so close, and that's what I kept picturing every time I heard Pearl. But...
Gotcha. So how did all the Richardson children change in the course of the novel, if they did?
So you had Trip became a little bit less shallow because he ended up spending time with someone intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
You had Moody.
I didn't like that.
He kind of went backwards. He got a little too moody. Lexi. And I feel like she was just as shallow as Trip. She kind of seemed like the whole cheerleader picking on people type person.
She seemed very selfish, and she still seemed selfish towards the end.
Oh yeah, she stayed selfish. It's just she learned a little bit more about a pregnancy, I guess.
Yeah, but that was just like to see her use Pearl's name was just like, really?
Yeah.
Like, own up to your shit. I mean, I get you don't want to get in trouble, but God, don't use your friggin' friend's name. Like,
use a made-up name for anything.
I know. Like, just that she didn't. You know, obviously she cared enough about her own reputation, but not about her friend's reputation.
Right.
But that goes in with her character, so.
Ow.
So despite the goings on, maybe they didn't grow or progress any.
Maybe a little, just not enough.
A little bit. Yeah, just not enough.
I hate to think that like Mia and Pearl are gonna be like on the run indefinitely.
Sure seems that way.
Yeah.
Well, she did ask Pearl if she wanted to meet her intended parents, and she said not yet. So maybe we're expecting another book that'll open that up a little more. Nah.
I kind of hope not, because I think that's
right.
As is.
I agree. I don't feel like there was enough of a story to make that a little bit more interesting.
I kind of wish that Izzy had like somehow met up with them and like left with them.
That would be the story if there was another book.
Yeah, that would be an extra 100 or 200 pages then.
Yeah. How she found them or something afterwards. But
well, she was on route to the parents' house in Pittsburgh, so. At the end of the novel, so Izzy was.
Right.
Now, I don't know if I maybe misunderstood, but did Izzy help BB get the baby, or BB just came in and stole the baby and bounced?
She was camping outside the house.
BB was camping outside the house?
She was watching the McCulloughs.
And she got onto a flight to China. And if you noticed, how did she get the BMW she was sitting in when she was looking at the McCullough's house?
How did she get into what?
BMW. She was in a BMW when she was by the McCullough's house. Do you remember that part?
I did, yeah, when she was camping outside watching them, right? Yeah. Huh.
I was like, where'd that come from? My theory, I have no idea if it's right or not, is that Mr. Richardson felt bad about the verdict. So he kind of gave her a little bit of a help.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I don't think they say anything that leads to that.
No, but how else was she going to be? Hey, like she's broke. She got a BMW. She's able to get into the house and know where the kid is.
And a flight to China.
And a flight to China.
That's like nuts for him, because wasn't he helping the other people fight the court case?
Who?
Mr. Richardson.
Yeah, wasn't he the lawyer?
Yeah, that's why he held BB.
Yes.
So because I guess he felt guilty, and because remember he was second guessing himself.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
So maybe he had a crisis of conscience and said, "Okay, I need to make this right," and
I mean, but like, I think something else that's important to consider is like, let's pretend you know, the McCulloughs or whatever, them having the baby, maybe it wasn't like a clear right, but just the fact that Mrs. Richardson had a relationship with, what was the chick's name? What was the McCulloughs lady's name?
Was it Linda?
Linda, I think, yeah.
Like, they were good friends.
Mm-hmm.
So even if that wasn't the right decision, I mean, don't you think she would have just said it was right because that was her friend?
Yeah. No, I felt like Richardson was like Mrs. Richardson. She was like a little. I can't find the word I'm looking for, but maybe biased. It's just she's always like used her connections and things. She's always like.
Yeah, but in her defense, the McCulloughs were going through the adoption process the legal and proper way. So, and all of a sudden we have, you know, the mother saying, "Hey, that child's mine," and you know, so she does have some grounds, I think, feeling the way she does.
I was hoping to see if it would say who Reese Witherspoon was playing, but it doesn't.
Oh.
I kind of feel like she's probably going to end up being the mom. And then, like, Kerry Washington is in it. And they're both executive producers. And then I think the author's also going to be a producer.
An executive producer, I would think, yeah. She doesn't participate in the writing of the screenplay. But...
Curious.
They're probably gonna. There's so many stories happening in this book, though, that they're gonna probably. It'll last a while. I feel like.
Well, I mean, episode to episode, you have the first episode just in the first, like, few 50 pages of the book. That's one or maybe even two episodes. You figured out who the hell just set the fire.
Yeah, but well, everybody knows it's Izzy. I mean,
well, right.
At least that's the way that chapter is pitched.
Right.
It's just a question of how or why she did
I think it would actually be a good show. I think it would. But I see it changing from the book to extend it.
Now, like, Mia was a pretty cool, and I mean, with the exception of just kind of running away with someone else's baby.
That's debatable.
That was her baby.
Debatable.
That was her.
I mean,
baby.
yeah, but if you make an agreement, I understand that you Anyway, what I was going to say was when she was talking to Izzy and she was just like, "Oh, fires this, fires that." I mean, was she really telling Izzy set everything on fire?
No, it was a metaphor for the prairie fire. Sometimes you have to clear everything to start anew. Mm-hmm. I think that's what we're going to do with our backyard. I'm not going to burn it. Well, not literally.
Not much.
I mean, it's such a mess that it's better to clear it and start over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mia tends to see the nuances of things, and I think that's what makes her such a good character. And one of the best parts of the book, I thought, was when she left those gifts for the Richardsons.
Yes.
I remember Mrs. Richardson's being the gilded cage made of her newspaper articles. That was both burst open at the golden feather at the bottom, and that was well done.
A testament to each Richardson. It was. I really liked that.
So I don't know if it was clear to me. She created like these sculptures and then photographed them. Is that what the deal was?
She would save stuff from each individual and use it in her art. Not necessarily a photograph, although a photograph could be part of it.
Okay. Well, there were photographs of like
the art.
She actually what she did was she spliced the negatives. Like that was her art. She would actually take pictures of multiple things and then make them one thing. So I don't know. I really want to see how they play that off in the TV show. To be honest, I really want to see how they do that because that seems like such a. I now I want to look up to find out what. Like there's got to be some sort of art, like people that do that.
As
a hobby.
For a living.
Like actually, take a picture of something and then like splice it up with other pictures. That's crazy. It's like that's Photoshop before it was Photoshop.
Well, if it reminds me, if you ever seen the movie The Fisher King.
I don't think I have seen that.
Was that with Robin Williams?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like I did see that. I don't know much
sad.
about
I
it,
haven't
but I
seen
think
it
I
now.
did see it.
He's walking with his would-be girlfriend, and like as he's walking, he's like doing something with his hands, and you know that he picked up. Did you ever see those cage and cork things like from wine bottles? They have the cork with the cage, like the wire cage attached to it. You know, and he said sometimes you can find some beautiful things in the trash, and when he holds out his hand, he has like a little chair with the thing as like the seat. The cork is the seat. It was pretty well done. But that's that's what Mia was doing. She was using stuff, that referred to their lives, like with Lexi's. Remember, it was that little rock with the shards of the clinic paper, the peak paper from the clinic that was holding it. So yeah. So it wasn't necessarily photographs. It was just she was like multimedia sort of art there.
But she put it in an envelope, though.
No, they're all pictures of these things.
Yeah.
There's pictures of these things. Okay.
Yeah. Because how else would they fit in a manila envelope?
And would she say that Moody's was, or no, it was Izzy was the black rose of the shoes that her mom threw away because she really loved those shoes. But it was like just different pieces of the shoe made into a black rose, and then
right. And Trips was his hockey chest plate with the grass and flowers coming up through it.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember Moody's. What was Moody's? Right, that's one that his
the notebook that he had.
Yeah.
Put in Pearl's that he gave to Pearl, and then when he found out that she was sleeping with Trip, took it from her bag and ripped the pages out of it one at a time.
What was it though? Like what was in the notebook? It was a
moleskin notebook that she never used, which made him even hurt worse because she's like she never even paid attention to it. She didn't even use it.
Yeah, I forget what Mia did with it though. What did she actually? She had the moleskin cover, but what did she do with it? That's what I can't remember.
She unfolded. She like uncrumpled the paper and then made origami.
The birds. That's right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. They helped her with the birds. That's right. It was one of the final scenes. Okay. Very good. See, and then my reaction was, yeah. See, this is why art's important.
Was there anything from Mr. Richardson?
Yeah, but I don't remember what it was.
I don't remember.
Did she really interact with it? Oh, she did. The only interaction that she like specifically made apparent was the first time that he met her, and he was like, "Thank you for helping us out. This has been a big deal for us." Like he actually showed more kindness than the rest of them from the start.
Yeah, and his was without strings attached, like Mrs. Richardson's was.
Oh, Mrs. Richardson.
What do you think of her as the big bad, or is she the big bad? I guess is the question.
Oh, she was definitely the big bad.
I feel like she is. I feel like of all the people in the story, she was the least empathetic and the most
judgmental.
Right.
Like she found reasons to hate things. She found she made up her own reasons to cause problems.
Well, according to her viewpoint.
Who was it? But somebody set her on that path, wasn't it? Wasn't it Izzy? Was it Izzy or was it Lexi?
She made that decision long before that, though. Remember, there was that hippie kid that she was going to go with. Hey, let's drive across the country, and she said she declined. As part of her backstory.
It was explaining her backstory, right?
Yeah,
and that was basically that part of her that was stamped out.
Right. The passion, emotional side to say no. It's like what I was thinking is, do you ever remember the Talking Heads song? How did I get this beautiful house, this beautiful wife? That's what Mrs. Richardson was to me.
Having her go up to the apartment and just walk into.
That's my house.
Apartment.
That's my
Yeah,
house.
I own it.
I have the right. Oh,
Yeah,
hell
he's the
no.
landlord, yeah.
Oh, that triggered me too.
And then,
he must have been renters.
She just walked in there and then started talking so much shit about how Mia was living.
Right.
Like,
oh, well, it was mentally. Because if she had said something like that out loud, I think someone would have had a chance
so
to
she did say it out
out.
loud. She did say it out loud because Mia was like, you can't even fathom that someone would want to live different than you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly.
I can see it on your face.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And who knows? And that's I think what Mia's wish for Mrs. Richardson is, I hope you find your bliss wherever it happens to lead. Which shows a generosity of spirit which I would not have expected, considering the way she was treated. But
Well, now she has nothing. Good going.
Oh yeah, but they can rebuild. That's just the house.
Yeah, but I mean, if that's where she placed all her value,
right?
And stability and order and
right. Yeah. Trust me. I mean, you can move all your shit it's because of a fire and then live somewhere else for 3 months. That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah.
Well, that would throw a wrench into the order, that's for sure. But it's through those conflicts that people allegedly grow and, I don't know if it's become better, but different. So. Not that Mia's plan was to get Izzy to burn the house down either.
Right, I don't think that was part of the plan at all.
It's not, yeah.
It sounded like that. Well, because we were listening to the audiobook and the way
you're reaching here.
The way the actor read it, it felt like Mia was giving her
nice signal. Shave it burnt down, huh?
Go do the thing. You know what to do, Izzy. You know what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? No, I didn't get that. Actually,
no.
I thought about it, but it's like, no, I don't think that's where that's going.
I think that's too far of a reach.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Mia, I don't think Mia's one to actually stir up trouble. She's always like under the radar. She wants just always like, all right, well, that's fucked up. Let's go on. Let's move on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then they go, and then there's never recourse. There's never like I just don't see that in Mia at all. I don't. Izzy now. All right.
Well, what do you think about the fact that she kind of sent Izzy away when they were like packing, getting ready to leave, and then she didn't let Izzy talk to Parker?
I was upset about that, but I think that was part of the we have to cut this off right here.
Yeah.
Because if anything was to talk and actually straighten things out, then they would have actually been more inclined to stay for any reason whatsoever. You just have to cut the cord and go. You can't just.
Yeah. And then Mrs. Richardson would have called New York and said, "Oh, hey, guess what? I know where that kid is."
Right.
Yeah.
But like in the end, Mrs. Richardson didn't find out that it was Lexi.
Correct. So far, yes.
Which I was very disappointed in.
I feel like she needed that.
Right.
Yeah. Either one of them, really. To be honestly honest with me, but no, apparently not. They just sailed right on. So here you go.
So the only people that really know the truth probably be Mia and Pearl, because Mia would probably be like, "Hey, really?" And she's like, "No, that was Lexi," and that was it. That'd be the end of it. Oh, all right, figures. Oh well.
Well, I expected it's like, oh well, your daughter had an abortion.
Right, yeah.
Well, guess what? No, that actually was Lexi. She just her name, Boom. No, didn't happen that way.
But Mia knew about it though.
Well, yeah, because she like helped Lexi through it, sort of, and went with her to.
So she probably didn't know that Mrs. Richardson thought that it was Pearl that had the abortion. The way she came in blaming Pearl. She's like, "Ask your daughter," because meaning. For Mia had been like, "Oh, well, she's mad because she found out about Lexi's abortion," but didn't have all the details there. You know what I'm saying?
I thought Mia assumed. Did Mia know that a Trip and Pearl were doing stuff?
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall.
Well,
God, it's so upsetting.
so many secrets.
What did you think of the pacing of the book? Because she takes about 150 or so pages to get into the actual
Fires.
Well, not the fires. Fires are like chapter 1, but
Oh no, I'm saying like not. I'm talking the metaphorical fighters.
Oh yeah,
not the real ones.
Yeah, things actually start happening.
Right.
In like beyond the first 150 pages, which I don't know if they would take that long in a TV show to draw that out, but I think it really helped the book because by then you really knew who the characters were and how they would react to certain things. So.
I thought it was kind of slow towards the beginning, but then it like picked up the pace.
Yeah.
Because then there was like just too much. I think when Mrs. Richardson set out on her journey to find out all the clues as to what Mia's life was about, I think that's when it started to pick up a lot.
Yeah, to actually be a journalist for a change.
She's written another book.
Yes.
I don't remember the name of it.
Everything I Never Told You.
Yeah. So I wonder what that one's about.
More secrets, it sounds like.
What? More secrets? Everything I Never Told You, yes.
Well, everything revolves on secrets. I mean, if everything is out in the open, what?
Right. There's no suspense.
Exactly. I do have questions here. I don't know if we want to go through them or not.
Sure.
But so Shaker Heights is almost another character in the novel. Do you believe that, quote, the best communities are planned, unquote? Why or why not?
I feel like it's just outside order. Like, it's almost just like, for people looking in, it looks all nice, but you can't ever really...
You can't hide the disorder of humanity, huh?
Right. It's only a facade.
Well, I mean, I think it's just another viewpoint to look at. It's just like the balance of emotional versus logical. It's there's neither one of them are really better than the other. It's just a matter of balance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like I think it was in Mia's apartment where she painted every room a different color, and like Mrs. Richardson was against it when she started, but hey, actually this looks really good, when she went through it.
I thought she told her not to do that.
Yeah, she did.
She did. Originally. She didn't want her to paint the rooms.
Yeah, but she said actually, when she went through them, it actually hangs. It was good. It actually looked good. Something deviated from the plan that actually looked good. So.
Well, at the end, her attitude really showed a little bit when she come walking up the stairs and she noticed the linoleum was a little off. So she was like, "Well, we got to get that fixed." No, screw it. We're gonna strip the whole house.
Right to the ground. We already did that. Let's see. There are many different kinds of mother-daughter relationships in the novel. Which ones do you find most compelling? And do mothers have a unique ability to spark fires for good and ill in us?
I guess it depends on what kind of fire sparked.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a passionate one or if it's rage. I mean...
I look at it as the hand that rocks the cradle. In the sense that, you, as parents, that's what you do. You transmit your values to your children.
Well, I mean, I think you try is the best.
Well, yeah. Well, you try, but I was going to say whether they stick or not is another story. So, but the parents have a unique opportunity for that, I think.
Um, I don't know. I feel like I turned out a lot different than my mom,
Hmm.
and growing up, it almost felt like we had like a rivalry going.
Hmm. Because you're too similar to each other, or
I don't think so. I think we're just so different. I think
okay.
like there's kind of like victim mentality, and
Hmm.
on the opposite end of that, what I didn't think would be opposite, but it's like victim, and then the opposite is creator. And I think I felt more like a creator of my
Hmm.
own reality, where she always felt more like a victim, and so we
Okay.
kind of like two opposites.
Hmm.
Um, but I'd like to hope that I've passed on some values to my teenager.
Hmm. Yeah, who knows? That's the thing. But at least in the book, we have me and Pearl. We have Mrs. Richardson and her 3 kids. We
Three,
have
four,
McCullough's in there.
4 kids.
Four? Four,
Yeah.
four, that's right. Well, at the end of the novel, 3, but yeah. Um, what was it? McCullough's in there. Oh, they're 80 for that time that they had her.
Their intentions.
And yeah. And BB and her permanent child, so.
I don't know why I feel so much worse for the McCulloughs than BB.
Because they don't have the baby.
Well, I mean, but they wanted a baby so bad, and they couldn't like have one, and then like here was BB, who had a baby and just like abandoned her. Like,
Yeah, okay, that's reason talking. Now what about feeling?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm sure BB had regrets, because how could you not? But like,
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, you've been watching This Is Us. This is kind of the same situation, but he didn't actually turn around and fight for it.
What are we talking about?
This Is Us. Him dropping the baby off and at the.
Oh, right.
How could you? I don't understand.
No, I was saying I really couldn't
talking
find
about.
my places where you were talking about. Yeah, well, that's kind of different. I don't know.
No, it's not. It's the same situation.
The thing about the McCulloughs to me was that, yes, they wanted a baby, but they could have been any baby that happened to be up. You know, in this case, it's a Chinese kid. What if it was I don't know, a black kid or a Hispanic kid? You know, so it wouldn't be about that particular culture, but it's whatever culture that the kid that was available was. Whereas supposed to be, she wanted that baby. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had plenty of other options. They ended up adopting another Chinese baby.
Well, I mean, I get that, but the thing is that they had already been taking care of Maribel for a while. So I mean, whether she could have been any other baby prior to that, they still must have formed a bond with her for the time that they had her. So to just wake up one morning and have the baby be gone, like, I don't know.
Except that, remember, when Bibi went to get the kid didn't cry.
Right.
Boom. And that's the thing that, Mrs. McCullough was remembering. It's like, there's something unique about that bond, I think. That's what I thought the choice was portraying, but I could be wrong.
So did they describe like how Pearl was made? Like, so I guess Pearl was half Mia's. Did you say what?
Turkey baster. That's how she was made.
But I mean, like, sometimes they take the other woman's egg and okay.
No, that's Mia's.
No. The impression that there was the guy, well, they filled up the cannon and they shot it into the appropriate target. Now we have Pearl.
That's. Oh, man.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what else is here. It's kind of a related question. Well, they got right to the chase. Who do you think should raise Mei Ling / Mirabelle?
I feel like of all the things that happen in this book, that's where I have the most mixed feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently now BB has a little bit of money to handle it. So I think she'd be all right.
Yeah.
Rather than living, I guess the first section, the first time we find out that she dropped him off, the reasoning is that, she couldn't take care of it. She couldn't afford diapers. She couldn't do anything. So she didn't have the ability to take care of that baby.
Right.
I don't know where she got the funding to take care of the baby, but
Mr. Richardson, I believe. I strongly believe Mr. Richardson, but
no, but that makes sense. That makes a whole lot of sense.
I mean, I guess if I was, I don't think I would give up my baby, but I don't know. I wouldn't be. I haven't been in that situation, but I was gonna say, I guess if I was BB and I gave up my baby and then I found out where she was, I'd probably be like, the universe wants me to have her back.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. It depends on what your experience is and, where you're at. So, let's see what else we have here. Mia's journey to becoming an artist is almost a beautiful novella of its own. Mia's art clearly has the power to change lives. What piece of art has shaped your life in an important way?
That's a really good question.
What kind of art are we talking about? What kind of medium?
So Sugar Bear.
Because video game.
Right. I guess that's what I would say. Thanks. That's such a good answer, John.
You're welcome.
I just want to say.
Toss the mic and leave.
Sugar Bear said he could give up his baby, and then said, "Oh wait, I don't have one." I'm trying to think if there's another. Obviously, Halo changed our lives, but like if there's a song or an actual work of art or something that just always stuck with me.
Music is always a big go-to for me.
I think maybe probably movies, I would say.
Oh, okay.
Because I could think of a lot of movies that I felt like.
Well, what's the reasoning that the Fight Club was your favorite? This kind of sounds like the same path here. Logic versus emotion.
Yep.
Fight Club. Fight Club is just because I think a lot of the times we spend our lives thinking we have to get a better job, to get more money, to get more stuff, and really.
I'm tired of stuff.
Like the Richardsons.
Right. It kind of doesn't mean anything, and that doesn't make people happy. Like the happiest people are those who have little but appreciate what they have. And for me, the Fight Club quote that was it's only after you've lost everything that you're free to do anything. That's always been super powerful.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is why BB snatched the kid up and took her to China.
And another, I've always favored equilibrium, and it's again on the same thing: emotion versus logic. It's got this, planned dystopian utopia, but they've done away with all emotion, and then all the everything builds up to emotion coming back, and everything going to crap.
I'm definitely more ruled by emotion than I am by logic, so Equilibrium is a big movie for me as well. But Moulin Rouge is up there because I felt like that was just very much about love, and The Matrix and Inception I feel are my top little bubble of movies that have really impacted my life.
Okay. John?
I haven't said enough already.
No, you have to get something beyond Halo. Sorry.
Well, I mean,
after Desiree's answer.
That's kind of what I pointed out to Equilibrium. The same thing here. As I enjoyed the hell out of that movie because it was all
I didn't
about
realize it was a
emotion.
movie. I thought you were talking just about Equilibrium.
Oh no, it's a movie called Equilibrium.
Oh, okay.
If you
All right.
haven't
It's basically
seen it, you should
about-
definitely check it out.
Okay, got it.
And then if you want to, I don't even know who the director was for Equilibrium.
Oh, I don't know. But the
if you
main
wanna-
character was
if you wanna take a
Christian
step-
Bale.
If you want to take a step back, the first movie that I was like was Memento.
Well, there you go. Yes,
And-
I get to see that.
And that was just because of the whole concept of it and the idea of losing your memory and then having to re-wake up every time without knowing anything. So if anything, that's on a daily basis. You wake up with nothing, and then, it's ridiculous.
Are you finished, or I'm sorry?
I didn't know if I can't think of anything else.
I mean, because you said music.
The music's always been a go-to.
I know, but like, is
I
there
would
a
just sit
particular
and,
album or artist that like
that
has shaped
changed
your life?
my life? Not really. Outside of I just know the first album that I ever sat and listened to over and over and over and over again was the Metallica. The Black Album. If you guys really want to, I just triggered that one. They call it. Do you know why they call it that?
No, I don't want to
Saying
go into
Metallica is stupid.
Oh, we apparently have unearthed a.
No,
discussion.
but it's. I think that album was the first album to really show me how much emotion can be in music.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What about you, Tom?
Oh God.
That's how I felt.
I'll just go with two films. The film I love and I watch it almost every year, but I don't recommend it to people because my cousin called it a slit your wrist film with good reason. Is The Seventh Seal and the director is Ingmar Bergman, and about if you've ever seen Bill and Ted's Adventure, they was parody the scene, the very first scene of the movie where the knight gets on shore and he encounters death on the shore and they start playing chess. That's how the movie opens, and then basically that's all like when this game ends, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to take you with me, and then that's how the movie starts.
It's the idea of life, I guess.
Yeah,
play the game until you die.
Exactly, and that's what. So it's a very art housey film sort of thing, black and white, all the thing. I really like it. The other one, like I said, was The Fisher King because it's like a fractured fairy tale.
I do want to watch that now. So
yeah, highly, highly recommend it.
Anything really with Robin Williams in it is coveted in my book.
Was that based on a book?
I think so. But I've not read the book. This is one of the few ones I have not read the book for. And music, I'll just say that the first two CDs I ever bought were AC/DC's Back in Black and Mozart's Requiem.
Nice.
Sure, they go well together too.
Yes, not that there was a goth thing going on there, but just, like I always liked the Back in Black and Amadeus had just come out, and that was the music I liked most from it. So I just got that particular work. So yeah. How that? Do we have more time for more questions, or are we done?
I think so. I think we can do another question and then kind of give our final thoughts.
Okay. I'm trying to think of a good. Well, I think this may be the longest one. The novel begins with a great conflagration, but its conclusion is even more devastating. What do you think happens to Elena after the novel ends? To Mia and Pearl, to Izzy. Do you think Izzy ever returns to Shaker and her family? Why or why not?
Elaine or Elena,
whatever. This is Richardson.
I really hated the she's Elena. I mean, I guess it's a uptight way to say Elena.
Well, that would make sense then. Yeah. Getting the character, yeah, makes perfect sense now.
Nah, I don't think Izzy would go back.
I don't think she would either. I think
maybe for Moody, that was about it.
I don't know. I think she felt. I can kind of relate to maybe judgmental family members who think they always know right and yet still kind of hypocritical and.
Well, human, man.
I know we're all human and we all make mistakes, and I mean, but that's why we shouldn't judge each other.
But that's the point. Some people don't see it that way, and that's why we have the book we have.
Right. But I think Izzy would just feel like she doesn't have enough in common with them. That she would just
probably the same reason why Mia didn't really go back to her parents. They just will never understand her. Because they never did. I mean, that was the thing going into it. They didn't want her to go to art school, and they didn't want her to.
I can relate to that too.
So I mean,
yeah.
If Izzy's really born from the same threads, then no, she won't go back to her parents.
I could see a sequel happening if, like, Mia periodically sends these pictures to New York, and then one becomes really super famous. And then of course her identity gets out, and now people are looking for her.
Yep.
So
that picture of her with the baby, though.
Yeah.
All that just needs to be seen by the Ryans, and that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on.
That one's
it's on. Yeah.
That one's. I feel like that one's really rough because, you feel bad for the McCulloughs wanting to keep the baby and. Whatever, but who was it?
The Ryans.
The Ryans, he actually that's half his daughter.
Yep.
So
and there was a contract written up
over it
too.
Mm-hmm.
There was a contract written up that she was legally in the wrong to run off with the baby.
Oh, but I just remembered that she had lied. She had lied and said the baby.
She lost the baby, right?
Yeah.
But then when you find out 15 years later that's not true, you're like, hey, what? What?
But in a sense, what are you going to do about it now? That's the thing.
I mean, but that's another thing, though. What did the Ryans do after the fact? If she had written the letter, a note, or left the message, I don't know how did she do that? Was it a note?
I think she left a note.
So that was it? A note? A freaking note? Okay.
Well, what was she going to do? They would have been able to see she was still pregnant if she.
Right, but still. I'm just saying, what did they do after the fact? Did they go and make that arrangement with somebody else and have a baby? So then they wouldn't give a shit.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, but the lawyer was still on retainer, but it wasn't stated if that's the reason why he was on retainer. It was to hold that case open.
So yeah.
So it sounds like they're still interested in finding out the whereabouts of the kid. What happens after that, I don't know, because like you said, she's already grown up now, essentially. So,
but then again, you also played with the same kind of response from the Ryans. Okay, yeah, they're if they're all like, wait a minute, she screwed us, she took off with that baby, we're contracted, versus, well, it is kind of her baby too.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
And then they could be sympathetic and be like, well, she didn't really want to get rid of it, so.
Right.
I mean, I would assume that when you go into contract with, that's just I don't know how anybody can do that, honestly. I mean, I know there are people out there that do it, that carry the baby, but I don't know how you could possibly carry a baby for 9 months and be like, okay.
This issue that's the reason why there's a book about it, I'm sure, because this issue's been a thing, thing. And people will do this and be like, hey, yeah, sure, I'll carry a baby for you. I could use the money right now. Hell yeah. And then when it's time to give the baby up, they're like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm sure that's pretty much the usual response before, oh, yeah, sure, fine, let's go.
Yeah. It's one thing before, intellectually say, oh, yeah, I can do this. But when you're in the situation.
Emotionally, you'd be all like, wait a minute, what did I do here?
And this might just be me making things up, but I feel like it would be a little bit easier if you were just carrying the baby and it wasn't your egg.
No.
but like in my mind, it feels like it would be, because then you're like, okay, these two parts that came together to make the baby are not mine.
So you're essentially the vessel here in this
right?
case?
Yeah, and then that I feel like there's an extra layer of detachment there.
Oh, I don't know. If you're carrying that kid for
It
9
still
months and
grew
you're
inside of
feeling the
your body.
kicking and everything,
Yeah.
that
Whether or not it was your egg, you're still
may
making.
be splitting hairs.
It's still growing from you.
I didn't really like it.
Yeah, this part of the kid came from me, and this but no.
I just provided the placenta here.
Mhm.
I don't know.
That's
It's
not
a
creepy.
very strange experience. You'll never get to understand, but it's like I don't
Not
know.
in this life.
Thank God.
Not in this life. Maybe next time.
Maybe next time. All right.
So,
So,
Maybe I've done it before and I just didn't want to do it again. I don't know.
that's why your hair is man. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly.
Right.
what do you give it?
I give it a 4. I enjoyed it. A little bit more than enjoyed it. It wasn't awesome, but I enjoyed it. It was good.
Okay, because that's a 3.
No, you're wrong.
It's okay.
I liked it versus meh.
No, meh. Okay is 2.
Okay.
I liked it as 3.
Oh, I loved it as 4. Is that what you're saying?
And then
Okay.
5 is it's amazing.
3.5.
All right.
So I'd round up in Goodreads.
Yeah.
Because they don't allow me.
I mean, I feel like I would give it a 4. I mean, for me, it still felt like I know like some of what the characters were going through was just relevant to the overall story, but it still felt like there was too much going on.
I don't ever want to give you my rating until after I talk to Tom.
Okay.
I'm just saying that
normally
Tom's like, remember this though, think about this. I'm like, oh yeah.
Well, let me ask you something. After talking to me, does the rating usually go up or down?
Up. It usually goes up almost every time because you're all like, but don't forget this happened. But they were, hey, what about this little thread you didn't put together here? And I'm like, so yeah.
I would give it a 4.
I would have given it a 3 before we talked.
I think for me, emotionally, I would have given it a 4 as terms as I liked it. But after I finished, I kept thinking about it. So it's like, all right, that's worth an extra star in my book. So I gave it a 5. Okay.
That's worth it. Yeah. That'll be my star then, because I was thinking about it now. Because when you looked at me after we finished it, and you're all like, "What do you think?" and I'm like, both of us were like, "Eh." But I had about, like I said, the last 30 minutes before leading up to this, I was actually still thinking about it, and there's a few things that I had actually like oh yeah, that goes together. That goes together. All right, cool, yeah. So
I definitely want to see the show.
So that's why it's a 4, not a 3.
Yeah, very good.
And I don't know how much time you spend on Twitter, but I follow the author on Twitter, and she is a pretty cool person. I appreciate her tweets. I feel like she might be an Izzy.
Well, I would have guessed she's more of a Pearl.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe she's a little bit of all of them, but
no, I'm saying like if she's drawing off of
I wouldn't
life.
Yeah, but following her and seeing her
Oh
tweets,
no, I see what you're saying. If she actually lived in Shaker Heights and that was where she grew up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was gonna say let me throw this into the mix. Say they're two sides of the same coin. Izzy's the way she is because she had to react against her mother. That opposing relationship. Whereas with Mia and Pearl, they're kind of the same way. So she developed like in a less argumentative.
Okay,
fashion.
no, I get it. I like it.
So,
but she's definitely because she I think the neighborhood she lives in now, which is not Shaker Heights, I think is still not necessarily segregated, but they're not being very nice to minorities right now, and she's very vocal about it. And I feel like she feels like an Izzy. Because Izzy would be like, "This is wrong, no,"
wrong.
And she would like,
"You're wrong."
Wait a minute. There's something.
She is from New York.
What you just did, okay? All right. There's something wrong with the whole situation.
So, right, so 4, 4, and a 5. I think we understand why it's been
a popular book.
Yes, and
Good job,
waiting
Celeste.
lists and stuff.
Thank
But it
you.
will be
Well
interesting
done.
to see what they change for the show and stuff like that.
And how they adapt it for the small screen.
Yeah.
It's like
So.
Handmaid's Tale's going like gangbusters, but
Maybe
I
can,
haven't. We started watching that and we only watched like the first few episodes and then we never finished it.
Wait, what?
The Handmaid's Tale?
Oh, yeah, I didn't. I guess that didn't hook me as well enough as others. Maybe I can actually get an agency in the next month and be a part of it.
Yeah. Okay. Good luck.
Yeah,
Go to
thanks.
Shaker Heights.
Good. I can go to Shaker Heights.
So that concludes this discussion. But we are this month for June, and I went looking for the book because I purchased it and I could not find it, which I was upset about. But the book that we're reading for June.
Weekend has title.
Yes.
I
I'm looking for the author.
Oh.
Okay, it's called We Are the Lucky Ones. And it is by Georgia Hunter.
Yes.
So
We are the lucky ones. It sounds like an old song.
Inspired by the incredible true story of one Jewish family separated at the start of World War II, determined to survive and to reunite, We Are the Lucky Ones is a tribute to the triumph of hope and love against all odds. So it's got like 5 stars on Amazon with 1,173 reviews. So.
And Glamour Magazine says, "Love in the face of global adversity? It couldn't be more timely."
So I'm looking forward to it. And I did just purchase the audiobook. So
I know. I saw.
So that's what
I shouldn't get
reading for
notifications when you buy more books.
When does next poll go up?
June. Probably I told John
A week?
that he could pick.
All 3?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Okay.
So whenever John gives me his selection, I'll put the next poll.
You heard it here first, folks. Right here.
All right. I'm going to give myself a week. How about that?
That's a lot of time. Really? Do you
Too
really
much
need that
time?
much time?
To pick the book for next month?
Yeah, but I
Which
like
is
to
a
give
month
people time
away?
I give
Okay.
people a week to vote, and then just in case they
So
want to get it from the library.
So have 2 weeks to get it then. Is that not enough time?
I don't think so, but whatever.
All right, fine. By the end of this week. What is it?
What time is
Saturday.
it?
Shh, that's at midnight. I'll try to pick by Monday. If not by Monday, you can be all like, "Hey, where's your books?" All right.
Stop shaking the camera, please. All right. Well, anyway, that was our discussion for Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. And like I said, we're reading We Are the Lucky Ones for the month of June. If you guys would like to be part of the on-screen chat with us, you can do that by becoming a patron on patreon.com/Libri Labra. And there's a few different tiers, so you can sign up to be entered in a monthly giveaway, a monthly bookish book-related giveaway. You can be a book club VIP where you get a custom bookmark and you get to join us in the chat, and you also get to select some of the books that we're reading. So there are cool perks, and if you haven't checked out the Patreon yet, go check it out. So thanks for joining us, and see you next time.
Quick tab real quick. Make sure someone's not saying.
Oh, make sure no one's saying no one's
Okay.
saying anything.
There he goes. There, yay! Bye,
Thanks
Hill.
for joining us. Bye, Sugar Bear. Love you. Bye. Oh, where's my mouse? Wait, my mouse.
It's over there.
Okay, here it is. All right. Bye.
Bye, guys.